Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Gainesville meeting today here at the Cade Museum. My name is Tom Collette, your Sergeant at Arms, at least for one more week, just today. Welcome to everyone. Please silence your cell phones. Guests and visiting Rotarians joining us on Zoom virtually, identify yourself in the chat. And if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, register your participation. Send an email, info@rotarygainesville.org. We begin our meeting today with the song and Pledge of Allegiance. We'll ask for Greg to step forward right here in front of the bell just for one moment. We're singing and face our membership. We're singing a special song for Greg today, outgoing president, as of, 1 o'clock today. He gets that coveted position of immediate past president at 1 o'clock today. So, yes! And I give all credit for the song selection today to our pianist. He's worth a round of applause too. Gordon. We are going to sing to Greg, He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Are you ready? For he's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow that nobody can deny. Nobody can deny, that nobody can deny. One more time, for he's a jolly good fellow, nobody can deny. And now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we bring to the podium for our invocation today, offered by Lori Vidal.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's pray together. We come again to the time for the transition of leadership in this historic Rotary Club of Gainesville. It's a time of thanksgiving, being especially thankful for Greg's leadership and service this past year. It is appropriate to paraphrase the words of Holy Writ, to say, we thank our God every time we remember your service as president. In all our prayers for you, Greg, we pray with joy because of our partnership with you from the first day until now. Being confident of this, that he who has begun a good work in you will carry it to completion as you conclude your service as Rotary president. As we say our thanks for the uniqueness of our leaders this year, we now move to prepare to pass on the baton to new leadership starting next week. Guide us, I pray, to embrace and enjoy new leaders, keeping us focused on our continual call to service above self. I pray in the name of our constant presence. Amen.
Thank you very much, Lori. You may be seated unless you're visiting us today. If you're visiting us today, please remain standing. Brendan, who has the wireless mic for our guests today? Maybe Michael can help us with that. We're putting our president to work on his last day. He's going to bring the wireless mic around for our guests. He'll turn that on. Just one second.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, there I am. As I'm walking towards the other people to introduce their guests, I want to introduce my guest, soon-to-be District Governor-elect Mickey Omer, who drove all the way over from Flagler Beach this morning to be with us. Mickey?
Well, today I have another fellow Rotarian, my friend Larry Daly from West Jack. So welcome. Thank you for visiting us.
Hello, I'm Kent Walker, and here pleased to introduce my guest, Maggie Campney, who is a longtime friend, and her father, I believe you mentioned, is a longtime Rotarian or was a longtime Rotarian in Germany. So I've got a little international connection here, and Maggie is into massage therapy and also yoga. What was it? Movement. That sums it up pretty nicely. So welcome, Maggie.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. I am honored to have my daughter, Esme Carter, with me today.
Thank you.
I feel important when the president's running, I tell you. So good, hello Rotarians. It is my pleasure to introduce to you today Victor San Martin Diaz. Victor is a third-year student at UF, and he's an intern at the Chamber. Welcome, Victor.
Welcome to all. It is a very special time of the year. Of course, next Tuesday is the birth date of our country. We celebrate the 4th of July. Always a special time of the year to celebrate. We have a special guy to bring up to celebrate. He's going to wear that famous signature hat he wears for all United States holidays. He's here with a poem, ladies and gentlemen. Why are people saying, uh-oh? Ladies and gentlemen, our resident poet, John Gregory.
This poem is called 4th of July, What a Blast. The firecracker blew earlier than Camden meant. Hurt his arms, we offer our sentiment. Italian Ben was disabled thus, they claimed he had a speech impediment. On July the 4th, I saw our stars and stripes saved. When the enemy our troops had braved, the flag didn't say much, because it wasn't for such. Instead of talk, it just simply waved. Our flag is red, white, and blue. Jason Shank, he knew this clue. Freedom is what it stands for. Shank's distressed in car, that's sure, because that's when they're flashing behind you. In nursery school, you knew Chad would soar. On Independence Day, his teacher said, our country has more. And in this country, said she, we are all free. But instead, Chad said, no, I'm for. Happy 4th of July.
Thank you so very much, John. Special week last week with this holiday approaching. My son got to spend 4 days at the Naval Academy in Annapolis in a high school program and spent one day with all the 4 companies of young people, men and women, going into 11th grade in high school at Fort McHenry. So thank you for that, John. And now, folks, it is with great fanfare. Gordon, are you ready? We bring up your president, Greg Young. Hail to the chief.
Thank you, Gordon. Well, we have a busy program. I want to welcome everyone to our final meeting of the Rotary year for the Rotary Club of Gainesville. Also, I want to thank all for assisting our club this Rotary year. All of you, our club, who have made us proud, us all proud of our work and accomplishments. And so thank you all. There are so many things that we've done that we can acknowledge, and we will talk about that at a future meeting, actually. Linda's going to be heading that up. So we've done that locally, and we've done that throughout the world. Now, if we could get the first slide up. That's not it.
Wasn't that you Thursday night?
That was me, but I didn't know I only had one beer. Okay, there we go. That's the ones thanks, Wes. Thanks for sharing. So, so anyway, that's our Rotary Club of Gainesville symbol, and that's the Imagine Rotary. That was our theme for the year, Jennifer Jones, and I'm going to get into that a little bit. So again, on July 11th, there's no meeting on the 4th, July 11th, Linda Reinhardt will be presiding, excuse me, and she will highlight many of the accomplishments for this past year, and also will set the direction for the incoming year in her vision. Today, I'd like to focus on sort of the larger view of Rotary. So let's see here, see if I can make that work. Or I could ask Brendan to advance me. Thank you, sir. So Rotary. So people of action, that is a moniker that our Rotary International uses that I found to be so important to thinking about why we're Rotarians, because that way we can really make things happen in the world by coming together. And so let me see if I can make the next one happen. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Rotary started with a vision of one man, Paul Harris, a Chicago attorney. He formed the Rotary Club of Chicago 118 years ago on February 23rd, 1905. So professionals like you with diverse backgrounds could exchange ideas and form meaningful, lifelong friendships. And as many of you know, Rotary International is one of the largest service organizations in the world. Its stated mission is to provide service to others, promote integrity, advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through fellowship. Oh, there we go, already up. So one of the major health initiative of Rotary is the global eradication of polio. Since 1985, when that initiative was started, Rotary has contributed more than $2 billion in countless volunteer hours to immunize more than 3 billion children in 122 countries. Oh, Jennifer Jones, the Rotary president, will soon be outgoing or immediate past president, who was the first, or is the first woman to lead Rotary International. And she encouraged us all to imagine Rotary. Imagine a world that deserves our best, where we get up each day knowing that we can make a difference. Through the Rotary network of 1.4 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change in ourselves, in our communities, and across the globe. Jennifer encouraged us to better engage our members by asking Rotarians, what is it that you want out of Rotary? What do you want to do in the world to make a positive change? Oh, we're there. That's the one, perfect. So now we're moving from Rotary International down to our district. So if you look in the upper right-hand corner, and knowing your geography, I'm sure, of Florida, that's us, 6970 in the green. That's Mickey Ulmer, who will be the district governor-elect this coming year, or probably starting the end of the month. There's 8 districts in Florida. And so we are known as let me back up a little bit. The founding of the Rotary Club of Jacksonville in 1912, Paul Harris visited there, signaled the beginning of our district, which contains 67 clubs, along with satellite, Rotaract, and Interact clubs, for a total of over 3,200 members. Known as Florida's Crown District, our district comprises 12 counties in Northeast Florida. So later in the program, Mickey he is here to actually do the installation, or the induction of our installation of our new officers. And he also is going to make a quick pitch for, on your tables, you'll see a little flyer that talks about the upcoming RLI on August 12th. Now, focusing on our club, working down to that level, I am so proud that we have served this community and beyond for over 105 years. Over that time, we've accomplished much, and this year is no exception. As I mentioned, at Linda's first meeting, she'll be covering some of those accomplishments, and so looking forward to that very much, Linda. By the way, you may do this during your time, but I'm just going to say she is calling for photos. If you have photos from things that happened this past year, whether they be projects or fellowships or anything related to the Rotary Club of Gainesville or district or whatever that you want to share with her, please send those her way. Or have you designated someone yet to be your photographer collector? Not yet? So send them to Linda. Or maybe Jason Shank. How about that? So, right. Okay. Well, there's so many members of our club that do outstanding things. First, I'd like to honor those who are outgoing and continuing board members. So I'm going to change to script B. And so the way I was hoping to do this in the interest of time and making sure there's plenty of time for the installation, Linda's remarks, there's a lot of people in our club that make a lot of things happen. And everybody contributes in their own way. And so first off, I'd like to recognize the outgoing board members that have already served their 2 years. And the way I'd like to do this is that we recognize them. We're going to go through a good group before we applaud, just because in the interest of time and the interest of your hands, I think it would be good that we hold applause into segments. So first off, outgoing board members, if you want to stand when you're called for this part, Marie Collins, Eric Godet, past President David Gracie, I saw David here. At least if you don't stand, at least wave your hand. Should let us know you're here, where you are. Jay Nordquist, I saw Jay. Kathy Pierce, she's probably watching on Zoom as she usually does. And Brendan Shortley over here. So now I'm moving on to continuing board members. We also have in the crowd Mike Conroy. Where'd you go, Mike? There's Mike. I don't know if Dwight McKee is here. I didn't see him. Then Jennifer Ostis. Hey, Jennifer, with the Cade Museum here. Scott Winsler. I saw Scott. He's in the back. Past District Governor Wes Eubank. Wes, you're there. He's always here. So Wes, good to see you. Good to see you. And past District Governor John Bruner. They will continue on the board. Now, one of the officers that serves with a lot of work and distinction in our club, for a club this size, having a treasurer is vital. And having a good treasurer is even more important. And Jeff Sims, would you please stand up? I do want to clap for you. Yeah, that is a lot of work. There's certain things in Rotary we all do, and we're busy. We have things in our lives where we can't commit as much, and there's times in our lives where we can commit more. And so I just want you all to know that there's no judgment about how much you contribute. You do what you can when you can. So please keep that in mind. And so, yeah, for me, empty nester now. So that's why I did this gig, and I'll see you over there sitting in the crowd next week. So, next I'd like to talk about all it takes to set up the meetings around here. Well, each week we have food from Dos Mamas Hills / Catering. And so we have Alexis Bolton, please wave. And we have Pete Barnum, please wave. And let's clap for them. You've done a great job all year. Thank you so much. Kaylee, I don't see Kaylee, but I do see Amanda. Amanda's over there. And I'm sorry, the new young lady, name? Lily? And Lily's new staff member. They set up every week for us to come in and have our meetings here. Now, I'm going to go through a list of people just real quickly, but the early setup. The first person here is Wes, every week setting up this equipment so we can have a Zoom meeting. And then Joe Floyd gets on the Zoom to help set that up. Joe, hello, and thank you. Marie Collins is always here early. Naomi Williams. Chip Immel is usually here to greet. Brendan Shortley greets. Tom Collette, he's here every week as Sergeant at Arms. That's a big lift. Weekly e-bulletin. Amber Miller, who I saw. Amber, raise your hand, because her job doesn't allow her to make it in very often because of United Way, she's very busy, but she has taken on this role that's important for us to communicate in our club. So every week she puts out that bulletin. Let's see, where are we now? Music, Gordon Hubble, every week. He's here playing that piano. Also, introduction of guests, Jason Shank. You've done that so well. We're going to have to find. Are you going to carry on for Linda? You know what? I probably will need something to keep me busy, so I might do that. I might do that for you. Thank you. All right. Song and a pledge. We have Pete Inwall, but who could not be here today, and also Tom Collette, who fills in very nicely. You know, it's kind of a toss-up about who has the better voice. I think a duet might be good sometime. So, invocations. Lori Vidal, Lori, wherever you are, Lori. Also, yes, thank you. Well, Lori's headed up that committee, and he also has Kevin Thorpe and Ernest Hall on his committee there. They've worked with that. Every month we have birthdays, and I will say, without asking, David Nicholson and Cynthia Brashew, they have been bringing in the cakes every month. So thank you for that. And I think at that point, that applause is for that whole group, because that's in the interest of time. So programs, you know, we've had great input from our club members for programs, and as always, are thankful to Susan Crowley, who couldn't be here today. She was in a meeting to get us great UF speakers, but we got some great community speakers, or people like Bill, you brought some, I know Don Bogus brought some. A lot of members suggested to us. But one of the things, Linda, as we all know, and Mickey, I know you know this, when you become president, or you're being asked to be president, you start looking around, who's going to be your program chair? You know, and I didn't hesitate, and he didn't hesitate. Joe Coughlin, he did a great job this year. So we're very proud of what you guys have offered to us and presented to us, so we could bring you good programming. The breakdown of the meeting. Once the meeting's over, what happens? Well, many of the same people that set it up, Brendan Shortley, you know, Wes, all of us. Bill Stasowitz often takes the laundry home. Somebody has to take these tablecloths home every week, or they don't get done. Tony Barr, he's often there helping. Michael Pellet, Kent Walker has stepped in recently. Others, I hope I haven't missed. Jenna Ostis sometimes is a part of that crew. Now moving into club administration. Now the chair, who will be stepping out, Marie Collins, and Jenna Ostis is the co-chair, who'll be stepping up to the chair position. Under the club administration, oh, I didn't go to that slide yet. So can we look at club administration? Now, I understand that membership, Mickey might call me out on this, membership is not an avenue of service. However, we've added that into our committee list. It's risen to the level of, it's so important, we make that an avenue of service in our club. So I was prompted that I might want to mention that to you, Mickey. Meeting breakdown, as I said, now club administration. So on club administration, I mentioned who are the chair and co-chair, incoming chair. E-Bulletin, as I mentioned, Amber Miller. History and Archives, John Gregory. So music, Gordon Hubble every week. Public Image, Rennie Henderson and Lisa Mueller. I've seen they're both here today. Raise your hands. Thank you for what you've done. The magazine you have, Gainesville Lifestyles, is that right? Has been coming out and has featured many Rotarians in that. So we have gotten a lot of free publicity, and it's really, you know, it's about the community, and we're part of that community, broader community. So thank you. Social media, TJ couldn't be here. Song leader, Pete and Tom Collette. Technical team, Wes Eubank, Joe Floyd, Brendan Shortley, Jeff Sims does a lot of technical things for us out at Hatchet Creek so that we can have our big events out there. Webpage, TJ Pache. Now we're looking back up at the list, and we do have membership as an area because it's such an area to focus. Marie Collins and Jenna Ostis again. Craft Talks, John Graham. Family of Rotary, who sends out cards or lets people know if there's something, you know, that somebody in their lives have been touched by illness or death. We reach out to them. Melanie Shore heads that up, and Lori Vidal. Fun and Fellowship, TJ Pache. By the way, I want to say thanks so much. The other night when there was a Fun and Fellowship for the end of the year, we had it at the Heartwood Soundstage, and I walked in there thinking it was just going to be TJ and me. And there was quite a number of people. I mean, I think Wes might have got a picture of my jaw dropping at that point, but it was very surprised, very touching. Let's see, greeters button box, Marie as you come in, Naomi Williams, again, Chip, Brendan. Now, these are three people I want to recognize for outstanding work this year. Not that any of these others weren't, but they've really added a level of sophistication to how we handle this. New member recruiting, Richard Allen. Richard, do you want to raise your hand? Richard reaches out to every guest that walks in that door and signs in with their email, just to see if they're interested, did they have a good time, and invite them back. Member engagement, Bill Stasowitz. That was a new initiative by Bill this year. Finding ways to keep our members engaged. As Mickey knows, through RLI, and you learn all through the district, if you get people in, that's great. And you want people because the more you have people, the more you can do in the community and the world. But if they don't stay, then that's futile. So you want to engage them. Find out what they want to do. Get them engaged. New member orientations. Helen Grillstrom and her husband have done an excellent job, Tom, her husband, of having new member orientations at their house. And they've done a bang-up job. Ever since COVID, that kind of went down because of doing it on Zoom, and it's hard to coordinate. Well, this has been an excellent way to do it this year. I'm so happy. I'm going to move quickly now. So community service, we have Brendan Shortley as the chair, outgoing. Scott Winsler will be the chair, stepping up. Holiday bell ringers is Guy Joplin. I didn't see Guy. Chainsaw Gang, Wilbur Holloway, was actually started by Ben Campen. Ben, raise your hand. Ben has done so much in this club over the years, and that was his initiative when all the hurricanes came through. Grateful Rotarians, Linda Reinhardt. I think you've passed the baton on that, and Helen Gilstrom is now chairing that. Did a great job this year with the Bread of the Mighty food drive, the Undies 500, and other initiatives. Rotary Blood Bank, Craig Carter, we're going to start cranking that up. We're going to talk about that. Rotary Rebuilding Together, Ryan Thompson. Veteran Service Recognition, Margaret Combs and Pete Inwall, who did the first ever Vietnam Veterans Recognition Program. And if you were here for that, you know how, I don't know what the word to use, touching, intense, just meaningful for the people that were being recognized because they didn't get recognized back in the day. So it went so well. I was very pleased we did that. Two people I need to, actually three, I need to recognize for a lot of work when you're doing these events. Seafood Spectacular, Lisa and Dwight McKee, they co-chaired that. So Lisa, and I don't see Dwight, but Lisa. That is a lot of work. Hang on just a second.
Where'd he go?
How about over here? Yeah, we don't want any horns breaking. Okay. So this is a plaque that we keep it out of Hatchet Creek, and it's to honor all the district members, the feast masters past, and it goes all the way to the most recent feast master. And again, as you all know, that's a signature event of our club. Raises about 140, 150,000 in the last few years. We have so many people involved with that. But John Thomas, will you please stand? He was feast master for this past year. That is a lot of work. So thank you for doing that. New generations. Jay Nordquist is the outgoing chair, and John Thomas, incoming, or actually you're going to be our secretary, so forget that. Dictionary Project, Marcia and Wes Eubank, TJ Pache. Middle School Service Above Self, Helen Kornblum. I saw you, Helen. Where are you? Helen in the back. And some of these committees, like these, what I just mentioned, Helen's Middle School Service Above Self, they have a number of committee members. They're the chair, and then they get the committees together and do a lot of work. So just be aware of that there's all these things that go on in the background that we don't really know about that just makes our club go. It's like a well-tuned machine. If it's all tuned up and running well, it goes well. So Rotary Reading Safari, Marcia Eubank, Rotary Scholars Selection, Mary Crane. Mary, you want to raise your hand? I saw you earlier. I'm not seeing you, but, oh, there you are. Okay. And Rotary Scholar, okay, Rotary Youth Exchange, Deborah Newell. That's another position that takes a lot of work. Deborah, I saw you here. You want to raise your, there she is. School Science Projects, John Gregory. Youth Speakers Contest, Mike Conroy, who's here as well. Why don't we go ahead and give those guys, all those people around. You know, when I was deciding to do it this way, to try to, I wanted people to see the big picture of how much it takes to make a club like this work, to get as much done in our community and in other places around the world, how much activity it takes. And so that's why I'm doing it in this format. So now we're moving to International and Rotary Foundation. And that's Kathy Pierce, who's on Zoom, Dwight McKee, who couldn't be here today. Dwight will be moving into the chair position. The Rotary Auction, Elena Frazier, you know, as you know, around Christmas, before Christmas, we do that. It's Richard Allen and Susan Maston are also on that committee. They do a lot of work on that. They have a big committee. Naturalization, Brendan Shortley. Paul Harris Fellows, Ryan Thompson, and Kim Naoni. Hey Kim, he is hoping that he can stay here in Gainesville and continue on in the role he just took on as our Paul Harris Fellow Chair. So Kim, we're rooting for you, buddy. Okay, so let's see. Sustainable Cambodia, Richard Allen and Susan Maston, so much work. You'll be seeing more about the results of some of these things in the July 11th presentation when Linda's up with photos. So South Sudan Healthcare Organization, Jacob Atim, who's here today. I will say, think about Jacob and Richard and Susan and the impact they're making outside of the United States, I mean, on the other side of the world, where our club is touching the whole globe. So I want to clap for that. All right, we're getting close. Vocational services, the last avenue there. Eric Godet is the person stepping out, the chair stepping out. Mike Conroy will be stepping in as chair. Ethics and Business Awards, Scott Winsler and Bob Mounts, who are both here today, do a great job with that. Rotaract, Young Professionals, Ryan Thompson. ROTC recognition, Margaret Combs. And something that I don't see on here, because I think it's kind of like a committee that meets privately to look at serviceable of self candidates, but that rolls to the past president and immediate past president. And David Gracie, I saw you here somewhere if you want to raise your hand. He did the service above self work this year, so that's a big deal. Thank you, David. Okay, that gets me through that list. Now, so I'm wrapping up here, Mickey. I'm leaving time for you guys, hopefully enough. Okay, so if we can go to the last slide, please. Okay, so I do want to thank everyone. I want to thank you all for making this such a productive year and for your support in keeping me on the path. If I was stepping off the path, there were people to say, hey, Greg, you know, let's work this, and it was great. I have some particular mentors that one I knew before I joined Rotary. He's actually the one who got me to join Rotary. That's Joe Cawthon. He's been a mentor for me for, I guess, probably 25, 30 years now. We've known each other. And a person I met in Rotary that has been a mentor for me is Wes Eubank. Wes has been there for me every step of the way this year, and I want Wes and Joe to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. I value mentors, you know, and I really value you both, and I value what I've learned from other people here in the club. We're all mentors to each other. So one last thing I'm going to leave you with before I turn it over to Mickey is a professor. Here's a little thought thing. I think I actually got this off of LinkedIn from you, Tom, that you shared. So here's a scenario. A professor gave a balloon to every student who had to inflate it, write their name on it, throw it into the hallway. The professor then mixed up all the balloons in the hallway. The students were then given 5 minutes to find their own balloon. Despite a hectic search, no one found their balloon. At that point, the professor told the students to take the first balloon that they found and hand it to the person whose name was written on it. Within 5 minutes, everyone had their own balloon. The professor said to the students, "These balloons are like happiness. We will never find it if everyone is looking for their own. But if we care about other people's happiness, we'll find ours too." And I thought that was such a great thought. I think that exemplifies Rotary, and that's why I'm a Rotarian, a proud one. And now I'd like to bring up District Governor-elect, soon to be, Mickey Ulmer, to come up to install our new officers.
This is, for me, I've got a script to read. We'll do this quickly, but I just wanted to say this, two things. This is coming home for me. Wes and I have known each other for a lot of years, and some of the rest of you have been around for a lot of years. I started Rotary in this club way back when, and so it's always coming home for me. It's coming home for me and my family because some of them still even live here. But one of the things I've learned over the 30-some years that it's been is that Rotary is a family. The family of Rotary is everywhere you go in the world, around the United States, big towns, small towns. And I have said this, I think, for more than 30 years, Rotary is bigger than these four walls. And I just want to remind you all of how pleased I am that we were able to bring RLI back to Gainesville, and how really pleased I am that you all stood up and helped it make it happen. Greg especially, thank you. We had not been had not had RLI here, as you may know, for 7 or 8 years, because maybe the attendance was not what it should have been. But I believed it was important to bring it back to this part of the district, and I really appreciate what this club did to make that happen. So thank you all for all of that. And to this point, it'll be back here again next year. We have added Gainesville into the permanent rotation every 2 years or so. We'll be back here in Gainesville. And to that point, I should give a shameless plug. I put a flyer on every table. The next RLI, August 12th, as Greg said, will be in Orange Park. If you are interested in knowing more about Rotary, learning more about the operations of Rotary, especially if you're interested in learning more about Foundation, this would be a great one to go to. So take the flyer, take it home, register for RLI. That being said, I want to thank you all again for inviting me, these two people especially right here, for inviting me to be here. I'm especially, with this club, I'm especially happy to help with the transition and the continued growth and betterment for the community of Gainesville. Rotary clubs are the heart and soul of our organization. And this club is no exception, giving all of you involved amazing opportunities to unite, take action, and create lasting change around the globe, in this community, and in yourselves. So now I invite the incoming President, Linda Reinhardt, to join me. Please come up, Linda. You stay there for a second. Okay, now I'm going to call up the following board members and directors. Just please come forward as we call you up, and I think we decided we're going to line up this way, right across here. President-elect Ryan Thompson. I'm just going to go through this list real fast. Secretary John Thomas, Treasurer Jess Sims, Sergeant at Arms Colleen Keene, past President Greg Young, get back up here, Greg. Directors Patrice Boyes, Director Belinda Dodd, Director Rennie Henderson, Director Jane Muraski, Director David Nicholson, Director Kim Naomi. Okay? Have we got everybody? Come on up. Busy Rotarians can't always all be here, but we've got the core. Incoming officers and directors, you've been elected to important positions in the administration of the Rotary Club of Gainesville. This is an indication of your fellow Rotarians' esteem and confidence in you. They believe you will uphold the traditions of your club, you will support Linda as your club president, and you will give all you can to serve your community and to advance the object of Rotary. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Not you. No. Okay. I state your name. Will fulfill the responsibilities of my office to the best of my ability and in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of this club. Now, incoming President Linda. The members of the Rotary Club, of this Rotary Club, have selected you to guide the club's affairs during the coming year. You have been entrusted with an important yet exciting responsibility that will help shape your club's future. This is your opportunity, along with your board, excuse me, to make your club shine, to reach new heights, and to accomplish great things. This year will be the best year of your Rotary journey. It's your year to show the community and your fellow club members your vision of Rotary and of Rotarians making a difference in service and fellowship. Being elected president of the Rotary Club by its members is surely an expression of your confidence in her leadership. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of president of the Rotary Club of Gainesville, that I will to the best of my ability follow the Rotary four-way test, that I will give support and assistance to our district governor and to Rotary International, and that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club. My fellow Rotarians, guests, and friends, I hereby declare the new president, officers, and directors of the Rotary Club of Gainesville duly installed. Please welcome to your position.
On behalf of the outgoing board and myself, and in honor of the incoming board and the president, Linda Reinhardt, I would like to present her with her presidential gavel.
Don't go anywhere, Greg, but the rest of you can sit down. You will find that I'm a person of short words, so we're going to keep this short and sweet. I've said that a couple of times when people have asked me to stand up recently. But before we let Greg get out of here, we do have a couple of things for him. First of all, I want to present you with a with a gavel of your own. So you have your own signature gavel to take home and hang on your wall. I also have everybody's favorite, the past president's pin. And I'm not going to attempt to put this on you, but I know you'll wear it with pride as we continue on in this journey. And then the last thing is we have just a little gift just to say thank you. Obviously, Greg has spent the last little bit talking about all the wonderful things that we've done this year, but we couldn't have done it without his leadership. So something to enjoy Rotary by.
I understand it's wrapped, but if you want to see what it is, I'll be unwrapping it over there.
There you go. Okay, so with that, we'll bring it to a close. Just again, another reminder, we do not have a meeting next week. It is our Independence Day, 4th of July, so I hope everybody enjoys that holiday with family and friends. We will reconvene on July 11th. Oh, sorry, so much stuff that we had to forget. It's time to switch the banners. So the theme for next year is create hope in the world. I think that's very self-explanatory. I'm really excited that that it is such a clear goal for what Rotary does. So with that being said, now did I forget anything else? Yes, I know. I've got the tickets. I've still got the ticket. We will be back on July 11th, and we're going to do it as. Again, a year in review, but hopefully it'll be really fun and show, again, all the great work that we did with pictures and just letting everybody know what we're going to be looking to do this year and how you can get involved moving forward. So the winning ticket today is 169. 169. Nobody? Nobody? There we go. Jay's got it. With that, meeting's adjourned.